told him, well, you're gonna meet your old friend,
Mr. Gene.
Yeah, Mr. Gene.
Caitlin, can you get the door for me? Yeah, so he's going to take him to the boys' home. Mr. Gene was from the Pinson boys' home. And so Sanders throws Moon in the back of his cop car. He says he's going to take him to... I have not seen them. Nothing that I saw. What color are they?
It's in a white case.
Okay, I'll keep an eye out. So he's going to take him to the Pinson boys' home. And Sanders is driving him there. The window's cracked a little bit, and Sanders makes a stop, and he stops at this house, and he actually has this guy come to his window, and the guy clearly owes Sanders rent or something like that. The guy hasn't paid. What's Sanders do to that guy?
Slaps him right across the face.
Yeah, just smacks him right there in the car. And what does he call that guy? You remember what he called him? At the very end of the book.
White piece of trash.
White trash, right?
No,
He
you're
says,
more-
now that's white trash.
You're more than trash.
No, he said
He
white
called
trash.
Moon and Moon's dad militia, like white trash or militia white trash or something like that.
It was militia white trash.
So, some context here. What year is this taking place in? Do you guys remember?
In 18.
Not 18. They weren't driving police cars around the 1800s.
No, it was taken in 19.
Now we're closer.
1980.
1980. It's just going to be 1980. Reason why that's important is because Vietnam happened in the late 60s and 70s. And Vietnam was very contentious for a lot of people. People that went and fought in Vietnam may have been drafted. They may not have wanted to go, but they still had to go. There were people that fought valiantly for the United States of America, were very proud of their service. But when those veterans were brought back to the United States, they were not well received by the country. The country, in general, did not treat them very respectfully. And veterans had a really hard time when they came back. And war messes you up. Like, even if it's a war today, we know about post-traumatic stress syndrome, PTSD, as many of you have probably heard about it. It really affects people. And Vietnam was a very difficult war to fight. And a lot of those veterans came back, and mentally they had a really hard time adjusting back to the normal American life. And on top of that, they weren't treated very respectfully when they came back.
Because what?
So, hold on for a second. When Sanders calls him militia white trash, he's referring to somebody that had fought in a war and then came back and is living out on their own, and Moon takes some serious offense to that. Also, some of that makes sense why they may call, or why, he has like the ammo can, he lives out on his own, and Mr. Alberscato, I think, referred to it a little bit. Context-wise, that's somebody that is about 5 or 6, maybe 7 years removed, even 10 years removed from the war in Vietnam. That's still pretty fresh in their memory. Okay, what were you gonna add?
One, if you were coming back from Vietnam, wouldn't you be like? Cause do you know like when you'll wake up? Do they have to sleep in their uniforms? Because they don't know when they're going to have to get up and go fight.
Yes, I think that's fair to say. We'll talk about Vietnam another day. Very complicated battle. How they acted, were treated, how they prepared to fight, the conditions they lived in, all those play a role in Vietnam. Very challenging war, especially for the veterans that fought. And some of you may have grandmothers or grandfathers that may have been a part of that. They may or may not want to talk about it, but I would encourage you to ask them about it, and especially thank them for their service, because a lot of them came back and were not treated very well when they came back to the United States. Go ahead.
My uncle and my aunt were in the war, and when they had so much ammo that they got from winning a war, that he had to burn off all the ammo, and he lost half his hearing. And then
That sounds pretty miserable. All right, chapter 10. This is where we left off. When we got to the boys' home, there were people in the driveway with cameras to take pictures of us. Sanders opened the back door, and the people crowded close and shouted questions, but my chest and my head hurt too much to answer. I balled up on the back seat. Ooh, what happened to Moon? Why is his chest hurt? Why is he all balled up still?
Because he'd never been in a car before.
Uh-huh.
He
What did Sanders do to him?
he hugged him so hard that he about suffocated him.
Yeah, so he gave him a giant bear hug to the point where like rib cracking almost sucked the life out of him. And what did Moon do on Sanders?
Bit him.
Well, no, it was actually after that part.
Was all over.
Yeah, he peed all over him because he squeezed him so hard that he peed, and Sanders like, ah! Eventually, he throws Moon in the back of the car and then takes him to the other house as well. All right, so Sanders grabbed me under. Ooh, sorry. Let's see. I balled up on the back seat. Hey, where's your daddy, kid? How long you lived in that cave? We heard you buried your father. Tell us about it. Sanders grabbed me under the armpit and lifted me onto my tiptoes. He leaned down close to my ear. You screw up, kid, I'll squeeze you till your head pops off. I watched the sidewalk pass under my feet while Sanders pulled me along. Cameras flashed and people yelled at me. Officer, can he talk? Has he been educated at all? I heard Sanders reply, yeah, he's a little militia kid. He don't know much of anything. Your daddy ever kill anybody, kid? Does he have any relatives? Hey, kid, is it true you lived in a tree? We were soon inside the boys' home, and the flash bulbs and shouting of reporters faded away behind the front door. Sanders stopped, and my eyes saw the tips of shoes in front of me. I looked up to see Mr. Jean. Moon? He said. I didn't reply. You best get some restraints on this boy before I let loose, Sanders said.
Excuse me, I'm just checking. I'm going around checking. How are we doing on getting on student view?
Not good.
Who?
Me. I don't know where to go.
I don't know how to email you.
Okay, I can get in, but it won't let me see.